Absolutely, but we also have to get Katrina Foley elected as well as mayor of Costa.
So, I have an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old. I know what it's like when you're this age and no one is listening to you. I read an article in the LA Times today, and they said that they're expecting the lowest turnout for youth in our country. Let's make them wrong. I believe that we can do better. I believe in everything that Cotty said. I'm so excited to vote for Harley Rouda. I've been elected office here in Costa Mesa, and we just have not had representation for any of the issues that we care about. And we need you. We need you to get involved. Tell your friends, Snapchat them, Instagram them, whatever. Communicate with them in person. Just get them to the polls. You can vote at the Senior Center today. Every one of you, whether you live in Costa Mesa or not, go to the Senior Center today and vote early. Vote as early as you can and vote Foley for mayor. Thank you.
So guys, yes, I'm Harley Rouda running in the 48th district. And let me tell you why I'm running, because I think this is important. The November 16 election of Donald Trump was a wake-up call for all of us. And for me, it wasn't just about Donald Trump. To me, it was more about my frustration with both parties. I was frustrated that both parties tended to put party first, country second. That they wouldn't reach across the aisle and get the work done they were elected to do. I was also frustrated that election came down to two personalities. It was whether you liked one more than the other or hated one more than the other in deciding who you're going to vote for. And that's not what our founders wanted. Our founders wanted us to fight for what we believe in, argue the issues, but ultimately reach across the aisle and put country and community first. So I made the decision to run. And I didn't do a whole lot of due diligence in the sense that Dana Rohrabacher had just won by 17 points. And I'm proud of the fact that since we started that campaign 20 months ago, we are tied in the polls right now and have a great And the reason we're tied in the polls is because there's a lot of clear differences between the two of us. As Cotty said, Dana Rohrabacher does not believe that climate change is real. I recognize it as being the greatest issue facing humanity. And while we must get it addressed, it's also an opportunity. It's an opportunity because whoever addresses climate change is going to be creating new industries and new jobs for tomorrow. And I want to see that happen right here in Orange County in Southern California. He also says that offshore drilling supports it. Not only does he support it, he says it's good for the fish. Not sure how he figured that one out, but he says that the rigs are good for the fish. I do not support offshore drilling. Additionally, this district represents 80% of Orange County's beautiful coastline. We don't need any more drilling taking place whatsoever. Dana Rohrabacher has come out, again, as Cotty said, and said that homeowners should not have to sell their homes to the LGBTQ community. That's ridiculous. Not only is it against the law in California, it's against the law in 21 other states. He's come out and said that the best way to deal with gun violence in schools is to arm and train and arm students with loaded weapons on the premises for their use in the case of gun violence. And we've heard a lot of asinine ideas from members of the Congress and the halls there over the years. This one certainly rates as one of the biggest ones, period. He's come out in support of Russia. Everybody knows he's Russia's favorite congressman. He's even been linked to Russian spies, recently met with 2 Russian spies, and knew that they were Russian spies, still met with them to carry their agenda forward in the halls of Congress. And in 30 years in Congress, he's passed 3 pieces of legislation, just 3. Most recently, 14 years ago. We deserve better. We can do better. And with your support, we can make that happen. And I want to get you guys out to vote and get others out to vote. Now, my wife and I have been married 28 years. We have 4 kids in their 20s. And you have a tremendous opportunity to be the change you want to see in the world. Your vote is absolutely critical. This is your country. And I truly believe it's your civic duty to vote. Our democracy, since the Revolutionary War, has been maintained and grown because of the men and women who have served in the armed forces, who have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we could have the right to vote. And that's why it is your civic duty to get out there and make sure your voice is heard. If you don't do that, then a small minority or can control the direction of our country. There are important issues to all of you, whether it is the environment, whether it is addressing college debt, whether it's addressing rights, women's rights, minority rights, LGBTQ rights. Your ability to vote and change the direction of your country has never been more important than it is right now. And it does work. I want to share with you what happened in Virginia. Virginia saw their legislature change dramatically. So Virginia does state elections in odd years, 15 and 17. And in those 2 years, they literally flipped the House because young people got out and voted. So it's key, we know it's key that if you vote, you can change the world. And I also know it's frustrating for you to see the bickering and the partisanship that goes on in politics. It's frustrating for me too. That's why I'm running. But if we do nothing, it's not going to get better. We have to do something. We have to be involved. And I don't care where you are in the political spectrum. Get educated on the issues. Get educated on the candidates. Stop worrying about whether there's an R or a D next to somebody's name. Do the due diligence so that you can understand who is the right person to vote for and then support that person, because we've got to start talking to each other instead of talking over each other. And if we do that, we're going to have a strong democracy for hundreds and hundreds of years, but it requires you guys being involved. So, are you with me? Are you going to vote? I've got the distinct pleasure of introducing Congressman Heck. Congressman Heck, believe it or not, was the first member of Congress to call me. He may not know this, but he's the first member of Congress to call me. Come on up, Eddie.